Alright, so in this one, I'm going to be showing you the best teams and equips for the new Synchro fusing Super Gogeta. Obviously, our reference point here would be the green Super Gogeta, who's also a range type that we do have, and try to build stuff around that. So he is the placeholder for, obviously, the new Synchro, who is also a green range type unit. So it's kind of weird. It's actually kind of a blessing, though, that there is a copium setting where you could look at the Synchro units of the past, and you can see fusing SV here, their stats are actually pretty even. So let's hope we can even assume going into this where he'd be even stats, Mr. Synchro fusing Super Gogeta there, and you can even check fusing Gogeta Blue, who's a bit further down because he is not as high stars. And you can see the stat gap here being, again, nothing crazy. Under 10k is most like optimal. Like, you can build them blast base or strike base within that. So if he has that, build strike base, blast base, even though he's ranged, still build him in that. He even has the blast armors that he needs, nullify armor, everything that he wants. So with that in mind, you actually can build him in either mannerism. So you look at the best teams that he has, which would be movies and fusions. If you do not know, in his kit, he gets better when you have fusions or movie allies, where he gets more damage and damage guards. So that's just the two teams you're going to run for him. And if we're looking at the two, you're obviously going to assume movies is the better of the two, and you'd be correct. We go order received, and you would probably just slap on this guy. Now, we're going to talk about Metal Cooler for a second, because Metal Cooler is a safety, as well as 13. Metal Cooler is getting plus to damage, not as much damage as damage guard, but he's getting 55% more damage guard, going from, 125 to 180, and that's baseline. He gets stronger defenses as the game goes on. He loses lives. He's peaking his defense. I think he's like 20% per form, or per revival state that he has. So it just keeps going. And this guy actually might be one of the better walls in the game, because he has that defense neutral for a couple of counts. Obviously, his offense will still be, to be discussed and probably subpar, especially because he does want to take hits to get offense, and that just takes a bit of time. But defensively, you unironically, I know, it's weird to say, you unironically might run him. Again, he's going to be at over 20% damage guard within the setting of where is his second life. He's at 200% right there on damage guard. Plus, if he's in any kind of tier boost, it'll go up from there. So you might just run this. Clearly, it's not the most optimal thing. The optimal thing is a character that's not out yet. They're clearly intended to run together, more so one way than the other, especially, again, if Gogeta is not even stats and he is further apart. But Janemba, the new Ultra Janemba, or rather LF Janemba, who is a yellow melee type, he wants to run with Gogeta. They have the color synergy, green-yellow, as well as you have support from Janemba, giving 50% to his allies there, 13 being that kind of that pivot unit, as well as Janemba having endurance, Gogeta having some aspects to nullify said endurance. So the team would most likely be this, or if you don't pull both LFs and you only pull Gogeta, because Gogeta is more hype than Janemba, obviously, you would probably run this. There's not much else there. We were kind of all assuming a Zenkai would happen, or at least be announced, maybe not even happen today, but be announced to happen. But we did instead get Ultra Super Saiyan Goku, the free-to-play one's plat, get announced, which is cool, it's great. It would have been pretty nice if they did, let's say, any, a Revhon Zenkai, Path to Power, anybody from movie Zenkai. It did not happen, unfortunately, but the best options really would just be him alongside Metal Cooler and or the new Janemba that does drop today as well. And if you're really trying to, okay, let's think of the fusion thing, because technically 13 is not a fusion, right, until he does actually get his revival state. So you look at Fusion Warriors, and we're looking, all right, what are we going to build here? Again, assume the even stats, because you kind of have to. It's not really a choice. You kind of have to. Obviously, you got these guys that can flow with him. CMZ right there, so you could build up anything for fusions. Honestly, Proud Fusions might be a real thing that exists now with all these great fusion units, but you could very easily just slap on him on leader slot, run MZ, CMZ, Zenkai buff-wise. He actually isn't struggling at all on a movie team, right? You have the Revival Green Gohan Zenkai, which is blast attack and defense that exists there, as well as Dragon Fist. Very good Zenkai options that can exist on these teams. On movies, on fusions, it's not as easy. I don't even think, do you even do fusions? I actually don't remember. I hope you do. You don't. Yeah, see, it's not as easy. LFG4 is doing fusion. Zenkai buff, I believe. And if he is, yes, it's double defense, unfortunately, but it's something more than nothing. His best team, again, will be on a movie team. Regardless of these two being gods of the game right before he releases, it's still going to be on his own best merit of a movie team that I just showed you. But this is a very good team. Obviously, right here, there's safety, there's sub-count manipulations, there's a little bit of it within the big moves, so it works out. And then you're kind of looking at equips, whether it be team-wide or just generalized for himself. You're not going to build a blast base, even though he has range. So you're not going to run Shenron on him or anything like that. You just think of just melee equips. Again, assume even stats, because if he doesn't have that, there's really no finite team, I guess, with UV4, but even then, it's going to get weird with that. I just hope it's even stats for his sake. Like, hope for yourself and hope for his sake. So you run this is a very good option that you can run for him. And pure strike there, you have a melee type or a defense type battle member, just some base offenses going throughout that. I believe this would be decent. It's not perfect, but help store is always very nice on a unit, as well as base additives they could put there, and special move damage. He does have a blue card because he's a synchro thing, so he's not an ultimate. He has a blue card LF. This is a very good equip. The Awakened Ha is also very good. Again, these are all melee equips. We can't really build a blast equip because we just hope he's not. He should have access to this as well, considering it is a movie, Otherworld Warrior. Vegeta's dead in the movie. Spoiler, I know, crazy. So he should have access to that, which is a very good equip as well. There's decent options for him. Obviously, there's going to be more equips with the PvP reset, co-op, USTR. There's going to be equips for mostly just movies generalized, I'd assume. And maybe like, here's one specific for Janemba, and here's one specific for Gogeta. And then you can get that going on as well. So he doesn't have anything perfect. Again, this is a decent equip. Even here, if you have triple fusions, you can run this, double pure offense. There's pretty good stuff. It's more in line for Janemba to be a better success story initially than Gogeta, at least reading them. Again, not knowing their full finite details of their stats, meaning that's a lot of details, obviously. Units have looked really good on paper, then their stats show up and they're fucking shit. And Manga Goku, for a prime example, amazing damage inflicted on paper. He actually, in play, pretty subpar, right? So hopefully this guy does not fall victim to that, being a more ranged unit than strike unit. If he is strike-based, MZ, CMZ, movies, run with 13, hopefully Metal Cooler, if Metal Cooler actually does become a good unit now, as well as clearly run with Janemba, even the new Gotenks, who's probably going to eat in stats as a defense type. It's going to be weird how good he is, Gotenks, because he's the defense type, but at least I believe he supports fusion as well, so he could help. We don't know anything about his kid, so I can't talk on him, but yeah, no, Gogeta has a weird situation. It's not bad. It's not good. It's kind of just weird. We don't know enough to really validate anything fully of positive. And let's say, just as a hypothetical throw out there, he is only ranged, right? He's only going to have like a 30k stat gap, and you want to run him with the ranged unit. Well, I mean, you could just slot on a leader slot. You could put LFG4 there. Sure, why not? He Z-buffs the whole team, Zenka buffs him. This doesn't look terrible. You could put 13 on this team, maybe leader slot UV4. Put 13 instead, you could do a little bit of this, and then you do this, you could do this. I guess it wouldn't be the worst thing ever, though you can't put this. You put Dragon Fist bench right here, Zenka buff him, so a ranged team isn't the worst option. It's just you could very much see this team is going to be worse than the other two teams I just showed you. So we'll see. But for what we know, this would be kind of his better setups and his best teams. Hope this helps. I'll do the same thing for Janemba, and I'll see you in the next one.